Every single one of us at some point in our life is looking for a way to improve ourselves. Productivity is such a huge topic, especially for those of us who are entrepreneurs or business-minded people. And when you think about the popularity of the book, The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, it is abundantly clear that everybody is looking for a way to maximize their time. I was trying to research healthy foods that help improve the brain, even though these days healthy is a very subjective word, depending on what diet you've learned about, whether it's keto or low carb or paleo or Atkins. The question I had was, does intermittent fasting help improve my health? And does it actually help improve my productivity? What's up, everyone? Welcome back again to the Style of Success. I am Kelly, and if you are interested in anything to do with style or productivity or success, then this is the right channel for you. And if you haven't subscribed already, we want you as part of the family. I think the word fasting, first and foremost, kind of put me off. And for me, coming from like a religious background, when I hear the word fasting, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be deprived of food just so that I can reap these benefits. And in that time, my mind was on spiritual benefits. This actually reminds me of a time in my life where we did a 100-day fast. It was a religious fast. It was such an intense period. The first few days were really rough. We were fasting the whole day and breaking our fast at 6 p.m. And then we would just start eating the next day at 6 p.m. But what actually happened to me when I did that fast was I lost a ton of weight. But not only the weight, I lost the water weight, I lost muscle, so I was looking very gaunt and lean, and I didn't quite like the way I looked, even though I had achieved my weight loss objective. So there were some benefits to it, but it wasn't something I wanted to make a lifestyle choice because it was very, very restrictive. And I've learned so much about fasting or intermittent fasting now in my life that I see why it was such a struggle to do it then, and it was more or less about willpower than actually enjoying what I was doing. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever done a fast or if fasting is kind of your lifestyle. It's very interesting to see what people do when they fast and actually how their body feels when they do it, because it's one thing to fast, it's another thing to learn what your body actually responds to. Here's a disclaimer: I'm not a nutritionist, but I've been doing a lot of research when it comes to your health. I've been very drawn to the low carbohydrate lifestyle, and there are some doctors that I follow here on YouTube like Dr. Ken Berry and Dr. Sten Ekberg, and they talk a lot about a low carb lifestyle, ketogenic lifestyle. They also talk about the benefits you can reap from intermittent fasting. So they are a huge resource if you want to dive more into the topic of intermittent fasting and how you can benefit from it. But let me refer you to a video by Dr. Ekberg where he actually defines what intermittent fasting is.
So the first thing to understand about intermittent fasting is that it's not a diet. It is not tied to any particular kind of food, but it is rather a pattern of when you're eating and, more importantly, when you're not eating.
So intermittent fasting is not as complicated as it sounds. Although there are so many different variants of intermittent fasting. You have the 1 meal a day, you have the 14-10 fasting. So you are fasting for 14 hours, you're eating for 10 hours. It progresses. You have 16-8, you have 18-6, 24, and then it goes on and on. You'll probably hear about a lot of benefits from those who are huge advocates of intermittent fasting. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear what the experts have to say about how it can actually benefit our body.
Part of that means that there are some brain benefits. And when the brain gets happier, when the brain starts running more on ketones than glucose, they have noticed benefits such as improved energy, improved mental clarity, improved concentration. And part brain benefit and part reduction in insulin and inflammation is that number 28, fasting also reduces the risk of Alzheimer's disease and dementia and associated neurodegenerative diseases.
So you know me, I'm always interested in experimenting about something that I've learned new. And last year, I decided that I was going to try out intermittent fasting and try to make it a lifestyle choice and see how my body would feel and whether I would see any improvements in my health. So I chose the 16-8, where I'm fasting for 16 hours and then I'm eating for 8 hours. So I tried to restrict my last meal to about 7 or 8 p.m. at night, and then the next day I would resume eating sometimes by 11 a.m. or 12, just depending on the time I stopped fasting. I thought I was doing things the right way, but thanks to the internet and thanks to research, I realized that there were so many things I was doing wrong when it came to intermittent fasting. But the things I was doing wrong at the time was, early in the morning, I would start by drinking lemon and apple cider vinegar tea. And I would add a full tablespoon of honey just to sweeten it. If you are someone that takes apple cider vinegar, you know the smell can just be horrendous. The lemon in itself was also very tangy and sour. When it comes to intermittent fasting, you don't want anything to spike your blood sugar. And I realized that taking honey every day or any type of sweetener, that actually destroys or removes the benefit, and it doesn't allow your body to be in that fat burning state. When you're taking things like sugary food, you're not able to curb that sugar craving. And so when you're doing the fasting, it almost feels like it's such a hard task. And I always found myself so desperate to break the fast. So I knew that I was probably doing something wrong. And that made me realize that I needed to take care of the diet. In between, I needed to embrace a low carbohydrate lifestyle. So I decided that I was going to start again, but this time I chose that I was going to do the 18-6. I was going to be fasting for an 18-hour period, and then I would break my fast. I found out that I was eating between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. That gave me a 6-hour period of eating. So this time I cut out the high carbohydrate food, I cut out the sugar, I included more of healthy fats like avocado, coconut oil, heavy cream, olive oil, just anything that will help me feel satiated for longer. And so even though I would be drinking maybe my lemon and apple cider vinegar tea, I would use natural sweeteners. Sometimes I would use stevia or butcher sweet. If I couldn't find any of those, I would probably use 100% liquid sucralose that has no other additive in it. And what I'm trying to do more and more every day is to wean myself from the sweetness. So I put less and less so that I get used to the taste without any sweeteners. And even though it's not very easy for some of us who love sugar or would consider ourselves sugar addicts, what I have found is that now that I've cut out the sugar and the high carbohydrate from my diet, even when I am doing the 18-6 period, when it's time to break my fast, I'm not even hungry. And I find out that when I eat a meal, I am very, very satiated. In fact, if I eat 2 meals, I feel very bloated and uncomfortable. So now I'm finding myself restricting myself to eating more or less 1 meal a day and maybe 1 or 2 snacks that have no sugar in it. You know, my brain is more clear. I find that I am happier, which is the honest truth. I find I'm less depressed or less anxious. And I also find that when I'm doing creative work done, I'm able to concentrate in short bursts. And in those times, I'm able to get what I need to get done for the day. I'm a morning person, so I find I am more energetic and energized first thing in the morning. And even if I decide to go for like a morning walk, I find out that my body doesn't feel heavy. I know there's still weight that I need to lose, but I just feel happier, healthier, and more alive. And I think it's something that if you haven't ever thought of doing, probably try it. Maybe it's the 14-10. Just see how your body reacts to it. The truth is that with intermittent fasting, the times when you're fasting also includes the time when you're asleep. You're actually not eating for about 8 hours when you're asleep. You'll find out that you're able to very easily just eat between an 8-hour period or a 6-hour period or even a 4-hour period. So it's not as restrictive as it sounds. So if you're asking yourself whether intermittent fasting can actually help to improve your productivity, then I think there's a lot of information that actually shows that yes, it does improve productivity. By the way, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this amazing channel. We are over 2,000 subscribers now. Yay! And it's so much fun to share my thoughts and my experiences and my ideas and all the things that I learn on an everyday basis with you. So thank you so much for being a part of this family. And if you haven't subscribed already, do consider making this your family as well. So we have a lot to talk about in the comment section. YouTube is also going to recommend another video that you need to go watch. And I will see you in the next video.